Hi everyone, my name is Anthony and welcome back for another virtual lunch and learn. This week we'll be discussing healthy eating choices. We want to mention this information is intended for educational purposes only and should not be interpreted as medical advice. We'll be covering some common attitudes towards food choices today, as well as some balanced eating basics and some common diets that meet today's standards. We hope you enjoy. Before we begin today, let's set the stage. Even more than 23 centuries ago, the importance of eating well was understood. Repeated throughout history and still relevant today is this quote by the Greek physician Hippocrates, known as the father of medicine. If we could give everyone the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too much and not too little, we will have found the safest way to health. For centuries, we have known that nutrition and physical activity are important to well being, yet we still struggle. Today, we're hoping to guide you a little bit with nutrition, and we know that we will not be able to cover all nutritional guidelines or examine every current hot topic within diets, but we are hoping to give you some guidelines and food for thought for balanced eating. Just like exercise, the study of nutrition science is dynamic and still evolving. It is influenced more today than ever before due to our advanced knowledge of food and its relationship to optimal health and performance. We know that foods contain hundreds of health promoting substances and that they work together in ways we are just now beginning to understand. We know that certain dietary patterns, such as the DASH and Mediterranean diets, which will be introduced today, are linked to a lower risk of certain chronic diseases. We also know that improper diets are risk factors for diseases. Food safety, changing consumer expectations, and the demands of a global economy are being met with comprehensive strategies for building safety into every step of our food supply chain. Biotechnology. Plant and crop biotechnology is one that is being used to improve nutritional quality of foods, reduce food allergens, and curtail pesticide use, among other things. Nutrigenomics. This is a rapidly emerging science still in its beginning stages. Its premise is this: the degree to which diet influences your health depends on your unique genetic makeup. The future possibly holds individualized nutrition based on genotype, although the science is not yet there. Yet, despite the wisdom of Hippocrates and the many advances in the study of food science, nutrition, and health, improper diet, mainly nutrient poor calorie access, and physical activity are fueling, no pun intended, rising rates in obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. In many American diets, the overconsumption of added sugars, unhealthy fats, refined carbohydrates, and calories, coupled with inadequate fruits, vegetables, whole grains, dietary fiber, and other nutrients, represents a pattern that links obesity with malnutrition and other health concerns. Many people know that they can make better food choices, and most of us probably have at least some opportunity to improve. But where do you start? It's certainly understandable if you're confused about nutrition, considering the countless ways we are exposed to nutritional information, from the network news to the Food Network, from books to blogs, from Harvard U to YouTube, from food labels to fad diets, television to Twitter, and even this seminar. Each, or well, most of these groups certainly has your best interests central to their mission. Sometimes the good intentions can be overwhelming and conflicting. It takes practice to be wise and a discerning consumer. And when it comes to eating well, there's hardly a more practical place to practice confident, informed decision making than the grocery store. Here's a one question quiz to test your knowledge about food choices. According to the IFIC Foundation's Food and Health Survey, what is the number one factor that influences Americans' food and beverage choices? Is it taste, price, healthfulness, or convenience? The answer: taste. While all these play a role, the number one factor is taste. Taste has consistently been a top driver in the survey, followed by price. It's important to remember that food that is good for us can also be satisfying and delicious. It's important to learn how to blend the benefits of flavor and health. When it comes to nutritious eating, it's not just about a certain nutrient or food. Instead, it's about creating an overall pattern of nutritious food choices to support your health and being at your best. In the next several minutes, we'll be taking a look at 4 eating plans that can help pave the way to discovering that satisfying combination of health and flavor. Realizing that one size does not fit all, we want to highlight a few eating plans that are science based and that guide you to become informed and personalize your approach to eating well. These plans allow you to make choices that you can feel confident about. Sources that help you step up to the plate are MyPlate, the USDA Food Guidance System, the DASH Eating Plan, the Mediterranean Diet, and the Vegetarian Eating Patterns. You may recognize the MyPlate food icon here on the right, which replaced the MyPyramid in June 2011. The MyPlate Food Guidance System is a product of the USDA's Center for Nutrition Policy and Promotion. It provides guidance to help you put the principles of good nutrition into action, including those outlined in the latest dietary guidelines for Americans, the cornerstone of the nation's nutrition policy. MyPlate includes a variety of tools and resources that help you build a balanced diet, make smart choices from every food group, eat the right amount of food in proper proportions, and find your balance between food and physical activity. If you were to visit the ChooseMyPlate.gov website, you could find information on the food groups, MyPlate tip sheets, kitchen recipes, as well as things that can help you build food choices off of your caloric needs. If that's something that seems interesting to you, go ahead and check out that website. You may have heard of the DASH diet plan, but did you know that it stands for the Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension? Although the name may imply it's intended only for those with high blood pressure, DASH incorporates all the elements of sensible eating, making it a wise choice for just about anyone. But just in case you have high blood pressure or would like to prevent it, studies have shown DASH is effective in doing just that. Features of the DASH eating plan include being rich in fruits, vegetables, and low-fat dairy, moderate in overall fat, and low in saturated fat and cholesterol. It emphasizes whole grain products, fish, poultry, and nuts. It is reduced in red and processed meats, sodium, sweets, added sugars, and sugar-containing beverages. It has sample menus and recipes, and it has options for sodium and calorie levels. You've likely heard about the Mediterranean diet too. It's often in the press, and it's the subject of research findings that tout its many potential benefits. This is a mostly plant-based pattern of eating that combines the elements of traditional Mediterranean-style cooking. More and more research continues to show its potential benefits for good health, and it's included as a balanced eating pattern in the most recent dietary guidelines. The key components of this diet include a generous amount of foods from plant sources, including fruits, vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and seeds, unsaturated fats, mainly olive oil, fish consumed on a regular basis, twice a week, very little red meat, minimally processed food, and red wine in moderation for some. Many studies have linked the Mediterranean diet to a lower risk of chronic health problems such as heart disease. Although, rather than limiting total fat intake, the Mediterranean diet makes wise choices about the types of fat that are used. Olive oil is a good source of unsaturated fat that is linked to health benefits. The total fat content may be a little higher than other recommended eating plans, such as DASH, so if you're looking to maintain or lose weight, be mindful of the amount of healthful fats you may be consuming. All fats contain the same amount of calories. Another possible option is a vegetarian eating pattern. It's a plant-based eating pattern that offers an alternative way for meeting nutritional needs without meat or meat products. The reason for choosing a vegetarian lifestyle vary. For some, it's a way to improve their food choices overall. For others, it's for environmental reasons or other factors that matter to them. It can be a great option for some, and the latest dietary guidelines also include it as another balanced eating pattern. Since eliminating meat products removes a key source of protein, vegetarian eating patterns include more plant-based protein sources such as legumes, soy products, nuts, and seeds. It does not contain any meats, poultry, or seafood. The version of the dietary guidelines is based on a lacto-ovo vegetarian eating pattern. This means that it includes both dairy products and eggs. However, some people also choose to eliminate dairy, eggs, or both. Vegetarian diets can meet all nutritional requirements with a variety of foods. However, good planning is needed to ensure adequate amounts of protein, iron, zinc, and vitamin B12. For those who exclude dairy foods, it's important to include other sources of calcium as well. When you compare the different balanced eating plans, the best advice on what to eat is relatively straightforward. The common ground is a focus on nutritious foods for good health. Even if you're not ready or willing to adopt a specific or detailed eating plan, by focusing on these basic principles, you're stepping up to the plate in a big way. Since many of us plan our meals around meat, let's start there and challenge ourselves to think differently about it. Meat is a great source of protein and other nutrients, but most of us consume more than we need. While needs vary by calorie level, the average person needs about 2 3-ounce portions per day. This is a portion similar in size to a deck of cards and that easily fits in a quarter section of a standardized dinner plate. It's good to get your protein from a variety of sources, including fish, skinless poultry, white meat is the leanest, other lean meats, and eggs. In addition, aim to include plant-based sources such as beans and peas, soy products, and unsalted nuts and seeds. National guidelines recommend choosing at least 2 meals containing fish each week, especially those that have high omega-3 fatty acid content, such as wild salmon, mackerel, trout, and sardines. We do want to note, however, that pregnant and nursing women, women who may become pregnant, and young children should avoid shark, king mackerel, tilefish, marlin, swordfish, orange roughy, and big-eye tuna due to the high levels of mercury. Check local advisories before eating fish caught locally. For more information on the best fish choices for children and women of childbearing age, you can visit the FDA website. It's also important to remember that meat and other protein sources, except legumes, can swallow a large portion of your food budget. Here are a few tips to stretch your meat budget. Try stir fry and fajitas, chili, buy in bulk, and more. Depending on where most of your fat in your diet comes from, you may benefit from an oil change. Fat can fit in a balanced diet, so moderate, don't eliminate. Fat is an important component of a balanced diet and even helps boost your body's absorption of healthful nutrients and other components. For example, enjoy a slice of avocado with salsa, a splash of olive oil on your salad, or a spread of peanut butter on your apple. Quality and quantity both matter. Remember that all fats are high in calories, so enjoy them in moderation. Choose unsaturated fats in place of saturated and trans fats. Unsaturated fats are linked to heart health, especially when eaten in place of saturated and trans fats. Examples include oils such as olive, canola, peanut butter, soybean, etc., fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring, sardines, flaxseed, avocado, nuts, nut butters, and olives. Limit saturated fat, which is found in animal products like fatty meats, butter, ice cream, whole milk, cheese, and lard, also found in tropical oils such as coconut, palm, and palm kernel oils, as well as in cocoa butter. Saturated fat may raise LDL or bad cholesterol levels. And avoid trans fats when possible. Trans fat is found in products that contain partially hydrogenated oils. Trans fat raises the level of LDL, bad cholesterol, and lowers HDL or good cholesterol. Fortunately, due to newer laws, most processed food no longer contains partially hydrogenated oils, yet it is still important to read labels carefully. Many of the partially hydrogenated oils have been replaced with sources of saturated fat, such as tropical oils. Our last point about limiting saturated fat leads nicely into our next topic, especially if you're looking to include more plant-based proteins. Here's a good nutrition tip. Make friends with the legume family, the beans, peas, and lentils. Introduce yourself to a wide variety, including black beans, kidney beans, northern beans, chickpeas, black-eyed peas, and pinto beans. There are enough types to keep you enjoying beans, peas, and lentils for many meals to come. Beans and legumes are affordable and nutritious. They are a good source of protein, excellent source of soluble fiber, low in fat, and rich in health-boosting minerals including iron and potassium. A great option to replace or extend the meat in many dishes. Legumes are great as a nutritious meat replacement, but you can also enjoy them as a side dish, tossed in a salad, as a burrito filling, or added to soups. Now that you're partway through our balanced eating basics, let's test your knowledge with a quiz question about grains. Which of the following is an example of a whole grain? The correct answer, C. 100% whole wheat bread. Why not the others? Color is not an indicator of a whole grain food. In fact, molasses or other colorings may be added to a bread to make it look brown. 100% wheat bread means wheat flour was the only type of grain included, but it doesn't specify whole wheat. It could be made with enriched wheat flour, also known as white flour. Multigrain bread simply means that more than one grain was used to make the bread. They may or may not all be whole grains. Reading labels carefully is important. Look for the word whole or a whole grain listed as the first ingredient on the list. Grains are the seeds of plant foods. Whole grains contain all parts or layers of the grain, including the bran, endosperm, and germ. Here's why you should go for the whole grains. Whole grains contain more fiber and nutrients than their refined, often cheaper counterparts, such as white bread. They are naturally low in fat. They are an important source of vitamins and minerals, such as B vitamins, vitamin E, folate, selenium, zinc, and iron. They contain a variety of phytochemicals, which are important health promoting compounds found in plant foods. They have bigger health benefits. Whole grains are associated with a reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, constipation, diverticulitis, obesity, and heart disease. Whole means nothing has been added or taken away by processing, the same as unrefined. Examples include whole wheat bread, cereal or pasta, brown rice, oats, popcorn, barley, rye, wild rice, and more. Explore a variety of whole grains by trying something new, such as buckwheat or quinoa. There is a wide variety to choose from. The dietary guidelines for Americans recommend getting at least half of your grains as whole grains, or at least 3 servings of whole grains daily. And finally, you knew this advice was coming, so let's wrap up this section of our seminar with the nutritious message we've heard since childhood. We all know we should eat more fruits and vegetables, yet most Americans don't eat nearly enough of them. Here are some important reminders. A colorful variety is key. Not only is it important to get enough fruits and vegetables, but it's also important to eat a variety of colors. Different colors indicate the presence of different nutrients, so eating a variety ensures that you get all the important nutrients that you need. It's nature's fast food, sometimes called nature's medicine chest, fruits and vegetables are naturally low in fat and calories, in addition to their other nutritional benefits. They complement any meal or snack. They are rich in nutrients, fiber, and phytochemicals. Collectively, fruits and vegetables are unrivaled in their nutrient profile. Phytochemicals are compounds found in plants that may have health benefits. Well-known examples include vitamin C in citrus fruits or lycopene in tomatoes, but many are yet to be discovered. Eating a variety of fruits and vegetables can help you reap the benefits. It tops in versatility. Enjoy them just as they are or use them to complement any meal or snack. Balance your budget with fresh, frozen, canned, and dried options. Seasonal fruit and vegetables cost less than produce available at other times of the year, so they can help stretch your food dollars. Frozen, canned, and dried produce have nutritional benefits too, and may be even more economical choice when fresh varieties are not in season. However, it is important to select varieties with minimal, if any, added sugar, salt, or salsas. Now that we've covered up some principles of nutritious eating, let's talk a little bit more about what it means to step up to the plate, literally. Focusing on nutritious foods for good health gives meaning to the phrase stepping up to the plate. Think about how you usually fill your plate. For many Americans, the meat is front and center. Fruits, vegetables, and whole grains take up very little space, and there is often a sugary drink on the side. Many of us can make some small changes to move towards a more balanced plate, like the one we saw earlier from the Choose My Plate. So, it's important to make room for fruits and veggies. Fill half your plate with colorful fruits and vegetables. Give your whole grains or starchy vegetables, such as brown rice, small baked potato, and corn, 1/4 of the plate. Lean meat, poultry, and fish are meaningful, but not the main item on your plate. Give it a little less room than usual, about 1/4 of your plate, or choose a plant-based protein option such as legumes. Round off your plate with a serving of low-fat or non-fat milk and dairy product on the side, or a non-dairy alternative, such as calcium-fortified soy milk, is a good option for those who cannot have dairy food. By this point, you hopefully have some good ideas of ways you can step up to the plate of nutritious eating. Would making these changes fit in with what you want and value in life? Let's talk about a variety of tips, starting with how to eat well on a budget. Economical eating is important to many people. For some, it is the difference between having a nutritious diet or not. It is possible to eat well without busting your budget. You can do this by making a list and planning ahead when you go shopping, using coupons, comparing unit prices, buying fresh in-season foods or buying frozen any-season foods, and preventing waste, and more. Here are a few more balanced eating tips. Eat balanced meals. A combination of carbohydrates, protein, and fat is the best stimulant for appetite control. Also, downsize your dishes. Using smaller plates, bowls, and glasses is an easy way to reduce portion sizes. At the same time, it can make your portions seem larger. Don't skip meals. If you do, you may overeat later. Think before you drink. Avoid calorie-laden beverages with little or no nutrition, such as sodas, sports drinks, and alcoholic beverages. Also, read labels carefully. Scan the nutrition facts label and ingredients list on packaged foods. Beware of long lists with hard-to-pronounce ingredients. Also, watch out for foods that are high in sodium, such as processed and cured meats, canned soups, packaged foods, and many condiments. Added sugars, such as high fructose corn syrup and many others, and those that contain partially hydrogenated oils, which indicate that they contain trans fat. Practice the 80-20 rule. What this means is that 80% of the time you make nutrient-rich food choices and 20% of the time you enjoy whatever you like. Don't go overboard, however. Try one new recipe every week. You may discover some new favorite dishes. Sign up for a cooking class. This is a fun way to build confidence in the kitchen. Avoid dieting and deprivation. Diets, especially fad diets and deprivation, don't work in the long run and usually set you up for poor eating habits. When eating out, order once, enjoy twice. Ask for a to-go box before you start eating and set aside half of your meal for later. Eating well doesn't have to be costly or difficult. In fact, you can make better food choices by dining out less and eating at home more. To make this easier, get a head start on your meals for the week when you have 5 or 10 minutes. For example, wash and cut up fruits and vegetables ahead of time so they are ready to go. Grill boneless, skinless chicken breast for use later, and toss together a large salad with lettuce and any other veggies you enjoy so you can serve it with more than one meal. Leave off the dressing and let everyone add their own later. Finally, let's wrap up our seminar by talking about mindful eating. Mindful eating is a practice that can help you get more enjoyment out of the foods you eat. Mindful eating involves choosing foods that nourish your body. It also includes eating with awareness of the foods you're feeling about them and acknowledging your responses to them, but without judgment. This can include being aware of and using physical hunger and fullness to help guide your decisions to begin and stop eating. Emotional or habitual eating is out of tune with mindful eating. Using all your senses to explore the taste, sight, smell, sound, and texture of each bite. Valuing quality over quantity of what you're eating. Learning to identify personal triggers for mindless eating, such as emotions, social pressures, or certain foods. And feeling deep gratitude that may come from appreciating and experiencing food. A few more tips that can help you eat more mindfully and get the most enjoyment out of each bite are eating with your non-dominant hand, chewing your food 30 to 50 times per bite, eating without distractions, such as no radio, no TV, no phone, and no newspaper, cutting your food right before you plan to eat it, sitting down while you eat, put proper proportions on your plate and try to make the meal last at least 20 minutes, put your utensils down halfway through the meal and check in with yourself to see how you're feeling, and eating with chopsticks. We've covered a lot of important information today, so let's summarize what we've learned. Good nutrition isn't about one food or nutrient. It's most important to aim for a variety of wholesome foods to create an eating pattern that meets your nutritional needs. There is no one size fits all for eating well. There are many options, so you can find what works best for you. Planning ahead and shopping wisely can help you follow the principles of balanced eating, even on a budget. Finally, practice mindful eating to take time to savor and enjoy the foods and their flavors. After all, taste is an important part of the foods that we eat. Take a moment to consider this question. How does balanced eating fit into your life? If it's important to you, you can start small and identify your steps for integrating the basics of good nutrition into your lifestyle. We hope that you left today with some ideas about how you can make nutritious and balanced food choices. If you need a next step, please feel free to look at the online sources that we had covered earlier in this presentation. I want to thank you all for joining me again for another virtual presentation. As always, if you ever have any questions about your health and fitness journey, we at the Place for Wellness would love to have a conversation with you. Thank you.